12 miles from the coast, very hilly ground, quite a bit of rainfall in a year. We have about 72 inches of rainfall. We had a double parlour before, 24. When we had 100 cows, it was fine, but now we've grown up to 650 cows. We went to Dairy Master factory, they're making over 90% of the products themselves. In the end, we took the decision to go for a 70-point Dairy Master. We saw that Dairy Master offered a very superior package with everything involved. Having stainless steel means that it will last forever. That's why we went for Dairy Master as well. It was a amount of stainless in the build. Other competitors would take 2 or 3 months to install the parlour, which to me would mean that I'd have to be there more time. And with Dairy Master being here for only a week, it was ideal for us, really. They soon got into things, and by the end of the week, we had all the rotary installed. Started milking, everybody was mostly excited about what was going to happen. So after 2 milkings, all the cows were coming on fine. It's unbelievable how they've adapted to the rotary from a herringbone. And before we had 1 or 2 cows fidgety in the old parlour, and now they just seem so settled in a rotary parlour. And I think it's the fact that they are on the move and they have their individual stalls, which makes them more relaxed during the milking time. Put on ACRs, Cluster Fresh, water teat spray. We also incorporated the Moo Monitor heat detection collars into the parlour as well, which works very well with the drafting pit. And all the cows bulling in the morning is drafted automatically for us. After installing them, their value for money is incredible. We've been using it for a year now, and all the cows have been picked up. And also the activity, picks up cows which aren't very well, and so that's valuable as well. We decided on a 31,000 Dairy Master milk tank. Looking to the future, we thought we'd have enough capacity for future expansion. The amount of compressors are running is very small, only 2 hours in the middle of the night, and we found that it works very well. The milk in the tank is at 3.5 degrees. We've halved the milking time. The quality of life we have and our staff is much easier, and cows are lying down more hours in the day than they are standing in the collecting yard. These days you need to make farming more attractive for youngsters, and with this type of milking power centre-point rotary, it makes them attractive for youngsters to come home to the farm and look to the future to be.
That I've met or know that does not love cows.
Nutrients are very valuable to healing the body, and we also saw that in our calves, in our calf program. We had to do things 100% right there nutritionally with the calves, and if we miss it on the calves, it will show in their health.
That's your future. Your kids are your future. Your calves are your future, and that's where things head that way. And I've learned over the years that you want to take care of those calves.
And we need to be proactive. And so when we miss nutrients in our own body or with the calves or the cows, it shows.
We're dependent on the cows. We've got a symbiotic relationship going where they depend on me for their feed and for their housing in the wintertime, and I depend on them.
We need those cows. We take care of those cows just like they're our own family.
They need us too.
I actually designed this barn
We have cameras located in the barn here, so we can watch this 24/7. We have the high haunch height for a lot of air movement. We have a really long overhang on the front side of the barn to minimize the amount of sunlight that comes in, and also we always want to keep fresh bedding in here just to create as good of an environment as we possibly can.
We spent about 6-7 years designing this facility, and most of that time was spent designing, coming up with concepts, looking at innovative ideas that all deal with cow comfort.
Yeah, we installed these, we call them soakers, and these are basically sprinklers. And so this pipeline carries water, and when the cows are down here eating, it's on a timer that's activated by temperature. And when the temperature gets to 80 degrees, it starts going, and it sprays water across the cows' backs and cools them down.
The facility is designed for total cow comfort. The cows here are under less stress 365 days a year than our other farm, just because of the way the farm is built. But you can see this is a 2,200 cow dairy, and look, the cows are like a bunch of pets. You know, they're treated. They've actually, you know, they've actually gotten almost tamer and calmer since they've been at this farm.
Really?
Yeah, and I think it's a tribute to the way this barn works and my employees, the way they treat the animals.
Comfortable cows. We give them a nice, flat, dry, fluffy spot to lay down in every day after they return from the milking parlor. They've got feed in front of them, obviously fresh water, and then they've got a nice, dry, fluffy, comfortable bed to lie in, similar to you making your bed in the morning, and then it feels really good getting into it at night. Well, that's kind of the way the cows are. All I know is what we do and what we do in our farm here, and we try and make a as comfortable setting as we possibly can and environment for our cows. And I think seeing is the proof of the pudding. And if this brown Swiss that's looking at you right here is not having a good life, well, I don't know who is. I'll tell you that right now.
So those are very, very comfortable for the cow. And the more comfortable the cow is, the more milk she's going to give. When she's comfortable, she's just going to be a better producing animal. It's like any other high-performing athlete. The more you take care of the little details, the better the nutrition is, the better the rest is, the better they're going to perform. So for the cows, it's the same thing.
We have to take, we take care of it because we love those animals. If we didn't like them, we wouldn't be in the business, because there's, like me, I start at 4 in the morning and I go all day long, and so if I didn't care about my cows or something, I wouldn't be in this kind of business,
We make sure that they have all the comfort that we can give them. We give them a nice, lush pasture to eat and lay down in, and we stress that the cows need a nice calm environment to be in. And so if the cows are handled well, then they treat us well too. They milk more, and we can pay our bills and maybe have a little left over at the end of the day.
I only ask 3 things of my cows, and one is to either be laying down resting, or standing at the feed bunk eating, or be in the milk barn producing the milk that is so nutritious and good for you. So that's a pretty easy life.
We don't have animals being abused. They want to throw that out too. What we have is a situation where people just flat don't want to see animals confined. And as long as we're fighting that, it's a big problem. And unfortunately, dairymen are fighting that.
In the world who wants to come here and find out for themselves if these cows are stressed, overfed, forced to do anything that they don't want to do, and they can see for themselves.
We would never want to abuse or misuse our cattle, because the animals and the cows are what pays the bills for us.
There's nothing more important. You need to keep them comfortable, you need to keep them well fed, and they need to be managed properly. If they're not managed properly, there's no way they can reach their potential.
People need to understand that for us to be successful in our livelihoods out here, we have to take care of the cows.
Would there be any reason or cause for you to treat a cow inhumanely?
Only if you're stupid. Stupid dairymen don't last very long.
My strength is my cow sets, okay, and I'm proud of that. I know cows. That's all I've ever done. Like I said, I started milking cows when I was 11 years old, and I have the ability to recognize. And one thing I like to do, if I go to a new dairy, for instance, I'll walk in and the dairyman might say, "Well, come on in the office." I said, "No, let's go out in the corral. I like to be around the cows, because the cows got more to tell me than the owner does."
That's a good term. It's cow sense, and that pertains to many things on a dairy.
Well, I wouldn't put the cows in any situation that I wouldn't want to be in.
They're definitely going to be, just like your pets. And we got a few cows that we actually have to walk ahead of them, and they follow you. You don't push them.
Did you hear any cows bawling? Eh?
No.
You don't. So my cows are happy. My cows are really satisfied out there. Yes, they are.
We wouldn't be dairymen, and I wouldn't be a dairyman if I didn't like cows. And you have to love cows that want to get up and work 7 days a week with cows. And the more comfortable you can make a cow, and the more healthier the cow is, the better she's going to produce milk, the better quality milk she's going to produce. And we make our living selling milk.
Yeah, we treat them sometimes better than our own children, That way we do, but sometimes
We let them sleep in the house, the kids.
but we try to treat our cows the best we can.
My license plate says, when I turned 16, says "Love Cows," and I still have that.
And then our license plate says love.
After being here for only a week, it was ideal for us, really. They soon got into things, and by the end of the week, we had all the rotary installed. Started milking, everybody was mostly excited about what was going to happen. So after 2 milkings, all the cows were coming on fine. It's unbelievable how they've adapted to the rotary from a herringbone. And before we had 1 or 2 cows fidgety in the old manor, and now they just seem so settled in a rotary parlour. And I think it's the fact that they are on the move and they have their individual stalls, which makes them more relaxed during the milking time. Put on ACRs, just a fresh, lots of teat spray. We also incorporated the boom monitor, heat detection collar.
Cows.
Nutrients are very valuable to healing the body, and we also saw that in our calves, in our calf program. We had to do things 100% right there nutritionally with the calves, and if we miss it on the calves, it will show in their health.
That's your future. Your kids are your future. Your calves are your future, and that's where things head that way. And I've learned over the years that you want to take care of those calves.
And we need to be proactive. And so when we miss nutrients in our own body or with the calves or the cows, it shows.
Standing and neglecting it. These days you need to make farming more attractive for youngsters, and with this type of milking power centre rotary, it makes them attractive for youngsters to come home to the farm and look to the future to be
that I've met or know that does not love.
Into the parlour as well, which works very well with the drafting kit. And all the cows bulling in the morning is drafted automatically for us. After installing them, the value for money is incredible. We've been using it for a year now, and all the cows have been picked up. And also the activity, picks up cows which aren't very well, and so that's valuable as well. We decided on a 31,000 Dairy Master milk tank. Looking to the future, we thought we'd have enough capacity for future expansion. The amount of compressors are running is very small, only a couple hours in the middle of the night, and we found that it works very well. The milk in the tank is at 3.5 degrees. We've halved the milking time. The quality of life we have and our staff is much easier, and cows are lying down more hours in the day than they are. It's 1 mile from the coast, very hilly ground, quite a bit of rainfall in a year. We have about 72 inches of rainfall. We had a double parlour before, 24. When we had 100 cows it was fine, but now we've grown up to 650 cows. We went to Dairy Master factory, they're making over 90% of the products themselves. In the end we took the decision to go for a 70-point Dairy Master. We saw that Dairy Master offered a very superior package with everything involved. Having stainless steel means that it will last forever. That's why we went for Dairy Master as well. There was a amount of stainless in the build. Other competitors would take 2 or 3 months to install the parlour, which to me would mean that I'd have to be there more time. And with Dairy